Hello, this is Mike Colson with Medicare Insurance Counselors. Welcome to this video on the basics of Medicare Part D prescription coverage. Part D began in 2006. If ever there was a program that has such potential to be a help to older Americans that use prescriptions, which is just about all of them, this is it. Unfortunately, the way they put the program together years ago, it does not always work in your favor. There's an enormous amount to understanding a Part D prescription plan. They made it very, very difficult to understand. They made it very difficult to grasp what's going on. In my opinion, they put quite a few things in favor of the insurance company instead of in your favor. They could have done it much differently, but nonetheless, here we are. So what we're going to do in this little video is simply explain the four basic components of any Part D prescription plan. Now there's two ways that you can access a Part D prescription plan. If you have Medicare as your primary insurance, and you may have a Medicare supplement that goes along with original Medicare A and B, this individual might consider having what we call a stand-alone Part D prescription plan. That means that that's all that plan is a Part D prescription plan. So that individual might have Medicare as their primary insurance. They might, secondly, have a Medicare supplement that would pay the amounts that Medicare A and B doesn't pay. And then thirdly, they'd have a Part D prescription plan with still a different insurance company. The other way that you might access a Part D prescription plan is inside of a Medicare Advantage plan. It's built right in. Almost every Medicare Advantage plan has a Part D prescription component. So if you have a Medicare Advantage plan, that would be one of several things that you would need to review in your decision of which plan to have or which plan to keep is the Part D prescription component. Okay, so what are those four parts of a Part D plan? The first is a deductible. This number changes on an annual basis at Medicare's discretion. For 2014, the deductible amount, the maximum deductible amount is $310. It can be less than that. Many plans have a zero deductible, but they can't have a deductible greater than $310 in the year 2014. Okay, now a deductible is a very simple concept to understand. It's an amount of dollars, let's just say $310, that you would have to pay prior to your insurance plan paying any benefit. The second component of any Part D prescription plan is called the initial coverage period. This goes from the point that your deductible is through the point that you are through your deductible and until you reach $2,900. And by the way, I'm just going to use round numbers here. The numbers, they're odd numbers and they change every year, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to use round numbers. So past the deductible and up to $2,900, you pay your copay, company pays the balance. So let me give you a couple of examples. Let's say you have a drug that costs $100 in the absence of all insurance. Let's say that your copay is $40, which means, of course, the company is paying $60, and that would go on month by month through the course of the year. $100 is going towards that $2,900 threshold. Now, a second example is, let's say you have an inexpensive generic drug that costs, let's just say $25 in the absence of all insurance. Let's say that your copay is $2 or $5 or something like that, and the company pays the balance. In that example, $25 is going towards that $2,900 threshold. Now, that's an important point to understand because people confuse this. When they, in getting to that $2,900 threshold, they just add up their copays, and that is incorrect. It's both your copays plus the portion that the company pays in reaching that $2,900 threshold. Now, why is that $2,900 threshold important? And that's the third component, the very famous donut hole. The coverage gap, that's the technical name for it, is the coverage gap. If you reach that $2,900 threshold inside of a calendar year, you fall into this black hole. And all that means is you pay the cost of your prescriptions until the end, either until the end of the year or until you come out of the donut hole. You come out of the donut hole at the point that you have spent out of pocket $6,600. Now, that $6,600 represents all costs that have been paid. That means your deductible, if there is one, your co-pays, all of the amount that the company paid during the initial coverage period. It includes all the dollars that you paid while in the donut hole. So at the point that you're at $6,600, now what happens is you come out of the donut hole, and this is the fourth component, and it's called the catastrophic coverage. What happens here is your Part D prescription plan returns, and it pays almost all of the cost of your prescriptions for the rest of that year. They pay 95%, or co-pays that are under $7 each. Again, I'm just using round numbers. So these are the four components of any Part D prescription plan. I hope that this video has been helpful to you. Each of these I go into much greater depth in my ebook. The name of the book is Imagine Understanding Your Medicare Insurance Options. It is available on the Amazon Kindle bookstore. It retails for $4.99. If you have it, simply refer to Chapter 3, and I go into great detail on each of these four components and many other things that relate to Part D. If you don't have it, maybe you'd like to get a copy of the book. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for joining us.